welcome to the Vol Bros presented by the Ooltewah Club. My name is Evan, and this is my brother Ruston, and we are two Vol Bros who are actually bros in real life. And if you're taking time away from England and Mexico to watch our show, we appreciate that. We've got two orders of business to talk about tonight, and then we'll probably go, at least I'm going to go watch England and Mexico too. So we hope everybody's having a great 4th of July weekend. And here's our two topics for tonight. Number one, Rocky Top Insider wrote a pretty interesting article talking about the new eligibility rules and how that's going to impact Tennessee basketball, not this upcoming year, but the year after that. And then our second order of business, just 2 hours ago, Tennessee Athletics released another hype video promoting the Adidas stuff that's going to be set to be released this week. I'm going to show everyone that video on the screen. And there are two moments in particular that I'm going to pause the video so that we can talk about what we're seeing in the video. So with that being said, Rustin, we're going to talk about this deal that Rocky Top Insider did. And then I'm going to pose a question to you about how this new eligibility rules will impact what would have been red shirts in football, because there used to be a 4-game rule. Obviously, that means nothing now. So I'm going to ask you about that too. But first, let's talk about for basketball. So, shout out to Rocky Top Insider for writing this article. This was a good idea for an article. Just to recap, just so everybody knows, if you are unfamiliar with the new eligibility requirements for NCAA athletics, red shirts, all that stuff, gone. No longer a thing, not relevant anymore. You now have 5 years to play 5 years. So if you're able to play all 5 years with no injury, then good job. You get 5 years of playing time now. If by some chance, which hopefully this never happens to anybody, but if by some chance you get injured, twice and miss 2 of the seasons, well, unfortunately, you only get to play for 3 of those 5 years in that situation. So it's just 5 years to play 5. That's the new rules that are going to go into effect this fall. Now, with that being said, that changed some things for Tennessee basketball. For this upcoming year, everybody's got, their eligibility for this year. 2 guys would have not had eligibility anyway. That's Tyler Lundblade and Christian Furman. VCU transfer Christian Furman, Tyler Lundblade, the shooter from Belmont that I'm super stoked to watch play. Even under the new rules, they would have been out eligibility at the conclusion of this season anyway. However, here's where it gets interesting. And like I said, kudos to Rocky Top Insider for doing this. I'm going to read part of what they wrote here. The new rule will not have an impact on Lundblade or Furman because they're going to be done anyway. However, it will impact Day Ames and Miles Rubin. Both of those people now have 2 more years of eligibility. It will also impact Juke Harris, Terrence Hill, Braden Liu, Gavin Paul, and Campbell Duncan. Those guys, who are all rising juniors, prior to last month, thought they only had 2 years of eligibility left. Well, no, now they have 3. So those guys now have 3 years of eligibility. The rising sophomores, so people like Dwayne Brown, Troy Henderson, Jalen Harrelson, even though they've already played 1 year, they now have 4 years of eligibility left. So a lot of these guys just essentially were given another year of eligibility. What do you think that means for the basketball team? How do you think that plays out? What do you think that could impact on recruiting? What do you think?
Um, I think it'll. I think it creates some interesting dynamics for the transfer portal.
Right.
Uh, guys that they just signed who they thought were probably here for 1 or 2 years. Now they find out could have 3 or 4. Um, a guy like Jalen Harrelson, the more years he's here, the better he's going to get, and that will help his draft stock down the road. I don't see Juke Harris being here more than a year. He's going to be a
I
lot
agree.
big next year, so I don't think that affects anything there. But early on, they've been talking about the leaders on this team have been Tyler Lumblade, Terrence Hill Jr., and Dwayne Brown. So having Dwayne Brown for another 4 years, having Terrence Hill Jr. for another 2 years after this year would be huge positives to build continuity and build a system that's going to last. Um, going into this season, it looked like we could lose 4 guys at the end of the year, 3 to graduation and 1 to the pros. Now it looks like we're losing 2, maybe 3. So that's a big difference, and I think Rick Barnes has to be tickled pink, especially for Troy Henderson, Troy Henderson, Jalen Harrelson, and Dwayne Brown. Getting those guys for 4 more years is a huge positive. As far as how it affects recruiting, I don't think they'll have to do as much in the portal this upcoming year because they'll have dudes coming back off this roster that are going to be very good. Um, you know, so I think the couple of guys that they target in recruiting, they'll probably just stay after those couple of guys. Um, we have a big freshman class. Honestly, I think that probably hurts recruiting more than anything because they're 4 very talented guys who are going to probably potentially see some minutes. And so, the guy who's in high school right now is looking at 4 freshmen who potentially are going to stay for 4 or 5 years. Um,
Right.
that's not an overly attractive situation to walk into. So I think probably the fact that our 4 freshmen just got 5 years of eligibility, that will probably hurt recruiting more than anything.
Well, I think the big winner out of this whole deal is Dwayne Brown because, he was a very young freshman this past year. He was certainly the youngest guy on the team. Uh, Essentially, he just got back his reclassification year. Essentially, like he just gained back his whole college career. Essentially, that was huge for him, and so I think he's the biggest winner of all out of this. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Let's talk about football for a second. So, previous, how many years it's been now? Less than 5, but the up until this school year, the rule was you had 4 games. You could play in 4 games, which is 1/3 of the season, and still redshirt. Well, red shirts aren't a thing anymore. So, uh, how do you think that affects not just Tennessee but any collegiate football program? Knowing that if you want to preserve a red shirt, you don't have to worry about only playing to do 4 games because there are no red shirts anymore. How do you think that impacts football?
I think we find out who the good freshmen are. Right now they steal minutes for guys who are developmental or potentially could be a good player the sophomore year. Now, with there not being any red shirts, they're going to play. They're going to play the good ones, and the ones who can't compete aren't going to step on the field. And that's just going to be the reality of the situation. So the positive is we just hired Derek Owings. So we're doing a much better job in player development, and player development is going to become the priority for those freshmen and sophomores. Sorry, those freshmen and sophomores that aren't getting to play, having somebody in their ear who is showing them that they're still gaining and they're still growing and talking to them about when their time will come is going to be a huge positive for Tennessee. That's going to actually be probably the biggest difference maker for a lot of Power Four schools is how good of a job is your strength program and player development program doing, because that might be the only thing that keeps guys around early.
That's a good point. Let's see the comments we got going on here. Oh, a bunch of comments. That's what I'm talking about. Mississippi Vol, welcome, buddy. He said, hey, everybody, start off by smashing that like and subscribe button. Get yours, Evans, and Russ's week started off right. That is very wise advice. I love it. That's fantastic. David's here. Welcome, David. He said, good evening, Evan and Ruston. Just 2 weeks from tomorrow, Josh Heupel in Tennessee will be up first for SEC Media Days in Tampa. Football is almost here. I know, man, those media days, that's like the unofficial kickoff, isn't it? I'm excited for it. Bobby, well, hey, Bobby, good to have you, man. He said, hey, Vol Bros, good to see you, man. Sean is here. Welcome, Sean. Appreciate you. He said, happy 4th. Yeah, absolutely, man. Hope you had a great day, too. Nolan's here. Welcome, Nolan. Good to have you. He said, hey, Vol Bros. Rhonda, hey, Rhonda, good to have you, Rhonda. She said, good evening, bros, chat fam. Happy to report family still has all 10 fingers and toes from last night. That's a good win. There was a video circulating earlier today from last night. A guy, his firework, I don't know what you call it, canister, fell over and it was shooting them off sideways. And all of a sudden it started going at their house. And they tried to run inside, and one went through the front door while it was open and exploded in their living room. I was like, holy moly. Let's see. Jonathan's here. Welcome, Jonathan. He said, hello, Evan and Ruston chat family. Hope everybody had a great weekend and a great safe 4th. Absolutely. He said, don't forget to tell your mom and them about the Vol Bros. I think it's great advice. Text a buddy about the Vol Bros. Mina Lackey's here. That's what I'm talking about. She said, good evening, Vol Bros in chat. We just watched Sakai Ziegler take the court with the Spurs Summer League. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
He, Jacoby, and Igor are all with the Spurs this summer.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you say again.
He, Jacoby, and Igor are all with the Spurs this summer.
That's cool. That's exciting. David said this 4th of July is the first one in a long while that Tennessee didn't have a big commitment watch on July 4th, showing they're shifting the transfer portal more. Yeah, the only one that's kind of the big one to watch right now is DGG from Baylor, and that's later this month. Let's see. Nolan, welcome, buddy. He said Hill and Ames will both come back next year. Yeah, I think Day-Day Ames is definitely going to come back for another year. Let's see. Rhonda said it all went well at her house. Some of the other, like you said, glad everyone came out okay. Happy 4th, happy 250th. Absolutely. David said, congrats to Tobias Harris on another big contract. He's made more money than any NBA player who's never been an all-star or all-NBA.
Also now a Spur. San Antonio's loving some Tennessee.
Kegs here. Welcome, buddy. He said, sup, bros, always and forever evolve. Go Big Orange. Absolutely. David said, hopefully this 5-for-5 rule will incentivize a lot of these players to stay 2 or 3 years. Yeah, I hope so. And I'm sure the coaching staff hopes that as well. Mississippi Vol said, every year on the 4th, I just have to play. Put it in reverse, Terry. My wife had a T-shirt yesterday that said, back up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry. And said it on the shirt. It was awesome. Yep, Bobby, I appreciate you reminding me, buddy. He said, Independence, Kentucky singing Rocky Top for the 4th. Go Big Orange. So Bobby he tagged us in a post on Twitter. And up in northern Kentucky, they were watching this fireworks show, and it had like all this, different music about different areas. It sounded like maybe different areas of the country. And then all of a sudden it went into Rocky Top in northern Kentucky. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. I'm glad you sent me that, Bobby. Well, so this is obviously massive Adidas week, all the reveals and that kind of stuff. I want to show everybody. I'm going to share my screen. Nolan asked, are y'all going to talk about the quarterback battle? I'm wondering if Heupel starts GMAC, if that will negatively affect the program or not really matter, or is it phase on or bust? Okay, so here's my answer for that. Well, Ruston, you give your answer and then I'll give mine because I know what you're going to say.
That will be decided during the 3 scrimmages in August. Anything prior to that is just people guessing, and they have no idea what they're talking about. Those 3 scrimmages will decide everything.
But I will say this. This new eligibility rule thing, it is interesting. I mean, essentially, they both have equal eligibility now because George's 5th year was his redshirt year last year. I think one benefit for Faison is even if George does start, Faison is the backup. Like, let's be real. Like, there's no, we brought in Ryan Staub as the 3rd guy. Listen, Staub ain't taking any snaps from Faison if Faison's the backup. The biggest bummer for anybody of this new eligibility rule is Ryan Staub, because he was like, well, even if they redshirt Faison, then I'll at least get some snaps there, and they can in some games. And Faison, he'll play in 4 games, and that'll be it. I'll get the snaps in all the other 8 games. Not anymore. like Ryan Staub is the one who needs to be. Just like I said, Dwayne Brown was the biggest winner out of this new deal for basketball. Ryan Staub is kind of the guy that's the unfortunate recipient of this new eligibility requirement, because any snaps he would have gotten in place of Faison, it ain't happening anymore. It's Faison because there's no red shirts anymore. So might as well not save it, And I will say this, if George is the guy, that would be, that's talking about, competition brings out the best in people. Well, it certainly will in this situation, because he knows if they put in Faison to back him up, that's every bit as much a audition for Faison as it is every snap he takes in practice, because there's no reason to redshirt Faison anymore. So if he's better, he's going to play. So right, everybody just got better in that regard, in my opinion.
I could see, and I don't think Heupel likes to think this way, but if pushed into it, September 5th is Furman. Deshaun Bishop can beat Furman by himself.
Mm-hmm.
So I would not be surprised. Let's say the 3 scrimmages end up 50-50 and they nobody's won the job. I would not be surprised if that Furman game, if they split reps and they used it as an open scrimmage to try to win the job.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But anybody who says anything right now about who's winning, who's in front, they're all just guessing. No one has a clue. And until the bullets are flying, none of it matters anyway.
Yep. Eric, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. You said hello, Evan and Ruston. Good to see you guys. Good to see you too, man. Appreciate it. Nolan said, if George McIntyre comes out throwing darts and looking great, I'm all for it. I just want the best quarterback. And I know if 2 guys are close, you usually go with the younger guy if it's all the same. That's the thing. They're so close in age, like it's almost 6 one way, half a dozen the other.
I don't
George has been in the system longer.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that statement.
Heupel typically goes with the older guy just because he knows the system a little bit better.
And they've added more to it. Like, it's even more complicated than it used to be. Hendon Hooker walked in year 1 and they had to divide the field. He was only getting half field reads because he couldn't compute the entire offense to do the entire field. That's a huge advantage to George. He has been doing it. He has been repping it. He understands terminology. He understands the reads. Faison has not. And whoever wins those 3 scrimmages is who's going to be the starter, period.
Yeah.
But I will say it was interesting that George went to the Manning Academy and Faison did not. And it was even more interesting that when asked about it, Peyton said he really liked what he saw in George and that he wasn't going to comment on the battle, but he thought George looked really good. So I would just kind of slow the roll on, it's Faison this, it's Faison or bust. It may not be. It's probably going to be whoever doesn't turn the ball over.
Yeah, exactly.
And freshmen tend to turn the ball over.
David said this reminds me of Worley and Dobbs. We know how that went. Well, how we know how well that went. Yep. Let's see. Rhonda said, hello, Eric. Hope you had a wonderful fourth. K-Train, welcome, buddy. He said, hey, guys, hope y'all are well. Eric said he has all his fingers, so it's pretty good. Let's see. I'm going to share my screen, and let me pull up this tweet from Tennessee Athletics. And I'm just going to show the video on the screen. All right, let me pause it while I share it. All right. So theoretically, you will be able to hear the audio from this video as well. All right, so here's our first stop in the video. Listen, nobody's surprised by the fact that they have a white helmet with an orange stripe down the middle and an orange power tee. Like, nobody is surprised by that. I do think it's interesting that they chose. Listen, they're obviously strategically controlling the lighting in these, but I do think it's important to note that if you look closely at this, where the shadows are artificially made. The light coming from the direction that it's coming from, which in this would be the top right corner, more of that shoulder would be in view if the light had not been artificially altered in post-production. So this is just the biggest tease from the creative team. In this shot, you 100% could have seen the number on the shoulder pad if they hadn't artificially shadowed it and stuff like that. So clearly they're just showing like right up to the number and then not showing it as like part of the reveal later this week to see if there's a black outline around it or not. Clearly that's what they're doing. But once again, no big shocker that you've got the white helmet with the solid stripe. I do think it's important to note it is a thick stripe. It is not the thin 2004 stripe. It is the thick stripe. And on the front bumper, it does look like we've got the, VOLS font, the word mark font on the front bumper of the helmet. All right. Let's keep going. Any thoughts about that one, Ruston, before we keep going?
Nope.
Some people are like, wait, is that a smoky gray jersey for basketball? No, that is a white jersey. You can tell by the left shoulder if you zoom, like, I know it's not just the light, it's actually a white jersey. So nothing really of note for this shot. This is the most important shot, in my opinion. I don't think Ruston's going to be a huge fan of this shot. Ruston, what's the first thing you notice in this shot?
Well, I'm 50-50 on it. Number one, he's wearing an Adidas hat. I hope that's a mistake. Or I hope they're New Era hats, and for the team, they just put an Adidas logo on the side. Because if we're going to be forced to have Adidas hats, that's a letdown. The other thing that I am happy about, the way that collar line is cut, that really looks like a button-down jersey.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's a good point. It does look like that. You're right. I'll say this. The most intriguing thing about this shot to me is the placement of the Adidas logo on the hat. I've really tried to remember, and I could not think of any examples. Every time I've ever seen an Adidas hat that was like something like this, in my memory, it feels like the Adidas logo was always on the back of the hat. Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever seen a hat that had the Adidas logo on the side like that. Can anybody in the comments think of a time when you've seen a hat that had the Adidas logo on the side of it.
Well, honestly, that's what I'm hoping makes it a New Era hat. I'm hoping that it's a New Era hat and they just added the Adidas logo on the side for the branding.
I mean, I think that that's probably a pretty good guess, because I promise you, I tried to rack my brain to remember a hat or seeing a hat that had an Adidas logo on the side of it, and I could not think of a single example. I'm probably wrong, but I just could not think of one. Every one I ever remember, it was on the back of the hat. So also another thing to note about that, and actually Nolan, this is a good point Nolan just made too. He essentially was thinking the same thing I was. He said the new ones do have it on the side. He said, I don't know when it started, but I've seen some in shops. So that was another thing I thought of with this. One thing that we do see from this is now we get a little taste of what it's going to look like on all the other hats that they make, that they sell in like Academy Sports and Alumni Hall. They're all going to have that Adidas, like, because now they have the swoosh either on the front or on the side, or sometimes it's on the back. Well, now we see what it's going to look like, how big the Adidas logo will be on the side of all the hats and that kind of stuff. So that's a little taste of what the others look like. John said that it kind of looks like Blaine Brown in that shot. It does. You're right. Let's see. David, he said, I'm with Ruston, Adidas hat, no bueno. Rhonda said the orange looks good. It does. It looks good. David said, at least they got the right shade of orange this time. I agree. Now, we'll say this. As someone who has some experience in video production, you can't necessarily trust the coloring that you see in this video, because color grading and post-production can do a lot of things. They can make this look like whatever in the world they want it to look like, honestly. And so I personally am waiting to see the actual products in real life before I make a judgment on the orange, because they can make this look, they could literally, on this video, they could overlay a square of hex code FF8200, which is the Tennessee orange, and they could use the color dropper, pick that color and put it on the hat. So I mean, like, they can do whatever they want to do to the color grading on this thing. So I wouldn't totally get too excited about the colors yet. Billy's here. Welcome, Billy. Glad you're with us, man. Bobby said, if that's the hat, I'll be getting one. Love it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the front of it, how big the Power T is on the front. That's one thing I'm looking forward to seeing.
I just looked at the Adidas website. The only Adidas schools that don't wear New Era are Washington, Indiana, and Nebraska. All of them have that hat with the 3 stripes on the side. So that tells me we're not getting New Era.
Let's see here. Let's keep going in the video. This is one we've already seen, so we knew that they were going to have the Adidas football. We knew that based on a previous photo and video that they released. Chad Fields was very excited about this football. All right, so white gloves with black stripes on them. Not sure why those are orange stripes, but whatever.
Well, I mean, that probably tells you that the jersey's going to have black outlines on the numbers.
Well, you're right. You're probably right, yeah. This is an orange jersey. Can't really see it just on the side there. That's Sage Margetgo for sure. That's all we get so far. So,
did they announce a time? Like, are they dropping this stuff at a certain time every day?
I don't believe so. I don't think they gave us a time. So who knows? Who knows? All we know, and this is from Tennessee Athletics, they tweeted this out 6 hours ago. They said Monday, orange, Tuesday, white, Wednesday, Summit blue, Thursday, dark mode, and then Friday, July 10th, online and in stores, retail launch day. So what that means is tomorrow on Monday, every sport, we will see their orange uniform. That's what that means. So all across the board, we're going to see everybody's orange uniforms tomorrow. On Tuesday, we're going to see everybody's white uniforms. So we'll know for football on Tuesday if they have the black outline or not. We'll get to see the home basketball uniforms on Tuesday. We'll know everybody's white uniforms on Tuesday. Wednesday is going to be, in my opinion, maybe the most interesting, because Wednesday is Summit Blue Day. Is it just going to be Lady Vol teams that have Summit Blue stuff? Or will there be some men's teams that also have Summit Blue stuff? That's going to be interesting to see. So Wednesday could be a kind of intriguing day. And then Thursday's dark mode day. There's going to be a lot of people really excited about Thursday. The baseball team is going to have one. We know we've already seen the football team's dark mode jerseys. What we don't know is the football team's dark mode helmets. We don't know about those yet. But we've seen the dark mode jerseys on a leak on one of the other websites. Somebody took a screenshot of it and posted it on the Twitters and stuff. So Thursday will be an interesting day. I'm curious to see what baseball has. I'm curious to see what basketball has. That'll be an interesting day. And then Friday, all of it's for sale everywhere. That's their game plan. So that means Thursday night when we go live, we're going to be seeing, at that point, we will have seen all the different uniforms. So Thursday night, here's what our show is going to be. We're going to look at the uniforms and you can tell us which ones you like the best. And then we are going to rank the top 5 interior defensive linemen in Tennessee football history. Somebody in the comments earlier, K-Train said, when will y'all do the SEC football predictions? It's a great question. 1 week from tonight. So 1 week from tonight, we are going to predict the season, schedule or prediction win-loss records for every SEC football team. And Reed Carringer from Football Time in Tennessee Magazine will be joining us that night. And so he will also give his predictions for every single SEC team. So we hope you join us for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Any thoughts about the uniform reveal this week, Ruston?
I'm watching for a few things. I'm curious to see what they do with dark mode. Curious to see what they do with the smoky gray. And I said this the other night. They keep showing, or they keep teasing a lot of Summit Blue, and it makes me wonder. England goal makes me wonder. 35 minutes in, header on the back post. Makes me wonder, are we about to see a lot more Summit Blue integrated into other sports as, alternative type uniforms? I would be fully here for that. I also want to see baseball bring back some of the stuff they had with Adidas previously. Their gray uniform with the black pinstripes is still, to this day, I think one of the best looking uniforms they ever made. We'll love to see some of that come back. I would also tell people, as you head into cold weather months, obviously not right now, but as you head into it, Adidas makes the absolute best dugout jackets on the market. And if you look at their other schools, and dugout, for those of you who don't know, dugout jackets are insanely warm. So if you look at the other schools that are already Adidas schools on the website, you'll notice real quickly that the dugout jackets all look really good. So I would almost guarantee you Tennessee's dugout jacket is going to be gorgeous. And if you need a cold weather jacket, it's going to be the place to be. It'll be outstanding.
To your point there about the Summit Blue, they have an orange reveal day, they have a white reveal day, they have a Summit Blue reveal day, and they have a dark mode reveal day. They do not have a smoky gray reveal day. And so,
Oh my gosh, England just scored again.
good
30
grief.
seconds, 30 seconds between both of them by Jude Bellingham.
Huh. So, it'll be exciting to see each day what all Tennessee will be wearing. David said, I was a huge Adidas fan in the 90s, but in the 2000s and 2010s, they fell off. Early 2010s was atrocious. Let's just be honest. Those football jerseys with like the little tire tread marks on them and stuff, that was just horrific. So thankfully, we've seen the jerseys now. We know they're not going to look like that, which is very exciting. Sean said, as long as we don't have to pronounce Adidas the true European way, I'm fine.
Oh, that's the other thing I'm curious to see. Adidas is doing a lot right now with their whole retro vibe, and they're bringing back all the old Adidas logos. And Danny White specifically said there are going to be Tennessee apparel with the old retro Adidas logos. So that'll be interesting too to see what they do with that. I would be very curious to hear what the baseball team's view is, and honestly the softball team, what their view is of the metal cleats. Because Adidas only has one. They have the Adizero, ADI0, Adizero, however you want to pronounce it. It's terrible. Like baseball players and softball players do not wear Adidas cleats. They're awful. Soccer, different world. That's their jam. They're great at it. Baseball and softball, terrible. So it'd be very interesting to hear how they're going to improve that to where those guys and girls want to wear those. Because I guarantee you, there's nobody on either roster that's just chomping at the bit to see their new Adidas cleats. They are not comfortable. They are not pleasant.
David said, I can't wait for Tennessee to be sponsored by Carhartt. I'll buy a whole new wardrobe. Music City Sam, this is actually a really good point. I 100% agree with this. He said, I don't get why there isn't a standard football for all NCAA games. I agree.
There used to be. There used to be until companies had sponsorships with schools and they made their own equipment. Most states for high school, there still is one ball. Like Wilson for a long time had the market cornered in football. But when companies started making all their own stuff, that went out the window.
Billy asked, why blue? Why Summit Blue? That sounds like Florida. It's because of Pat Summit. It's a way to honor her. JL said, I don't care for blue for the men, to be honest. Yeah, I get that. I understand that. Rhonda makes a good point. She said, with Candace Parker being with Adidas now, that makes sense that Summit Blue would be a big part of it. I agree.
Well, and apparently Peyton is too in some capacity.
Yep, right.
They sort of revealed that in that first ad that Peyton's now on the payroll.
Mm-hmm. David said, smoky grays is what I'm interested in. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if there is a smoky gray, and second, what day they reveal it, because there's not a smoky gray reveal day, so it'll be interesting to see. Matt's here. Hey, Matt, good to have you, buddy. Let's see. Mr. Duval said, it's going to be an interesting week. I'm looking forward to seeing all of them and comparing notes on Thursday. Yeah, for sure. Me too. I'll be very curious to see when they reveal. I mean, it's going to happen tomorrow when they reveal the orange jerseys, but we know there's going to be, for the football team, there's going to be orange jerseys, white pants. We know that. Are they also going to reveal an all orange with orange jerseys and orange pants? Are they going to reveal an all orange with an orange helmet? Those are things that are going to be very interesting to see.
Goal Mexico.
Oh, that was quick. Man, it's heating up there, man.
It is. They're going at it.
So it'll also be interesting on Tuesday when we see the white jerseys. Number one, everybody's wondering, is there going to be a black outline around the numbers? But number two, will there be orange pants? Because last time Tennessee was with Adidas, that wasn't a thing, like predominantly. There might have been like one game I'm specifically thinking of I think it was the Arkansas game one year at Arkansas where we wore orange breeches. But that rarely ever happened under Adidas. And I might be misremembering that. It might not have happened at all. So it'll be curious to see if there's orange pants. There almost has to be. They're too popular among Tennessee fans. So my guess is on Tuesday we will see a white jersey with orange pants. That's going to be my guess as well. We'll see the stormtroopers and we'll see orange breeches as well. Matt said, as an ex-soccer player, I've always loved Adidas. I don't really care, though. As long as they improve our NIL, I'm happy. Amen, brother.
I'm sure the soccer teams have to be ecstatic.
Brennan, hey, Brennan, good to have you, buddy. He said, I agree with Ruston on Adidas baseball cleats. Terrible. K-Train said, what percentage of the $20 million we've gotten from Adidas will go to football? What do y'all think? That's a great question. There's no telling. Probably a substantial portion.
Yeah.
And probably a substantial portion is being promised to David Gabriel George's right now.
That's a private contract document between Adidas and Danny White. And anybody else getting to see it is going to be probably not going to happen.
Yep. Brennan said, sorry, I missed a few episodes. Still the best ball show there is. Hey, we appreciate you, Brennan. You're the man, buddy. Thank you. Rhonda said, honestly, I want to look good, but winning is even better. Amen, sister. Amen. Mississippi Vols said, speaking of Thursday, I have a meeting that even may be a few minutes late, but I'll be tuning in as soon as I get home. Might be the first 10 minutes. We appreciate you, man. And Nolan said, do soccer and baseball still use metal spikes?
Baseball and softball do. Soccer uses, depends on the cleat. Some of them are molded with a metal tip. Some of them are screw-ins with metal tips. Some of them are just molded. It really just depends on player preference. But nowhere near as violent or as aggressive as true metal cleats for baseball and softball.
K-Train asked, is it $20 million per year? Yes, it is $20 million per year. We were getting 8 from Nike. We're getting 20 from Adidas. Major jump. Well, just to recap, yep, and Sam clarified too. He said it's also a 10-year contract. Just to recap, this week, Monday, orange reveal day. Tuesday, white uniform reveal day. Wednesday, Summit Blue uniforms reveal day. Thursday, dark mode reveal day. And then Thursday night, we're live. And so we hope you join us. Let's see. K-Train said, I believe it was as low as 5 from Nike. That is true. That is actually what we were actually making. That was the contract that Nike had promised us, that they would bump us up to 8 to try to win us over and keep us. But 20 is more than 8. That's for sure.
Mexico just had another point-blank range, uncontested shot from right in front of the goal, and the dude hooked it outside the upright.
Oh, man. Hey, ask Brazil. You can't miss shots like that.
Yep.
Brazil had so many opportunities to score, and they just didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Brennan made a great point. He said, how slick will the golf team look? Because Adidas makes a lot of good-looking golf stuff. And Music City Sam said, yeah, Adidas golf shirts are great. Adidas is into some golf. So it'll look real good for them. Nolan said, hopefully they give us all the monies. Amen, brother. Amen. Matt said, I used to have metal tip screw-in studs for wet weather, 4 up front, 2 on the heel. Rest would check studs for game to check for scuffed or sharpened metal studs. John said, I got to run. Great show as always. I'll see everyone Thursday night to rank more D linemen. Yeah, buddy. Nolan said, I freaking love the Adidas golf stuff. It looks slick. Yeah, man. I'm with you. Just so everybody knows, Thursday night, we're going to obviously talk about all the uniforms that we see this week. But then we are also going to rank the top 5 interior defensive linemen in Tennessee football history. So we hope you'll join us Thursday night. as we rank those. We hope you give us your rankings in the comments that night. I'd love to show them on the screen. Mississippi Vol said, everybody have a great week. See all of you on Thursday as soon as I can. Got my list ready to go. Hey, he's ready. He's rocking and rolling. That's what I'm talking about. That is fantastic. Ruston, any final thoughts before we sign off this evening?
Nope. Be an interesting week.
Oh, yeah. And go USA tomorrow night against Belgium. We got our striker back in the game. And here's the thing. People are really ticked off that guy got overruled. But when you look at both Thierry Henry and Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
That's good. I didn't think you'd make it there.
I was trying. When you look at those two guys and both of them said, well, he never should have got a red card to begin with, then I'm cool with it. Right? I mean, like, that's common sense won the day. David said, won't be there Thursday, but number one is John Henderson. There you go. That's fair, dude. That's fair. He said Henderson, Hainsworth, Mahalona, Walker, and Harrell. That is a strong five right there. That's a strong five. Rhonda said, great show, Vol Bros. Have a great week, everyone. Absolutely. Appreciate you so much. Hope everybody has a great week as well. Thank you all so much for joining us. Go Vols, baby. And hopefully we'll see all of you Thursday night talking about all the stuff we've seen this week from Adidas, as well as bring your top 5 ranking of interior defensive linemen in Tennessee football history. Just to celebrate football season being so close, I'll close with the football outro. Have a great week, everybody. Go Vols, baby. And we will see all of you all very, very soon.